Hey, Drewski. What's up, Drewski? Let me check out some of this here Tupac trial. So this is day one of the official trial. This is right after lunch. So they're just coming back from lunch. They're just coming back from lunch. Ooh. Hey, Rick Giles. What's up, baby? How you doing? Um, they haven't turned the volume up yet, so it's not muted or not. Like they have it muted, so they haven't started after lunch yet. They're about to start. How's everybody doing? How y'all doing? How's it going? Mm, mm, mm. Hey, Mike, what's up? Thursday. I do on Thursdays now. So next vlog will be Thursday. Vlog number 7. Vlog number 7. Yes, honey. Thursday. I do on Thursdays now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Just trying to set up all my little things and stuff, etc. Set up all the little things. All the little things. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Mhm. Got it. Done. Yes. Okay. See. Let's set up all the little things. Set up all the little things. That's not right. I need this. Okay. Look at this man. How weird is it that they just waited until all the other people, the one who did it died, the driver died, the everybody else who was involved died, and then they're like, okay, now we're ready to prosecute.
Okay. Okay, I'm talking normally now. And now I'm trying to mute. And now I'm trying to talk. And now I'm trying to mute.
And this man done told everything, talking about he not guilty. This whole trial, this whole trial is basically them playing audio and videos of him confessing over the years.
Okay, I'm talking.
Physical evidence.
And now I'm muting.
It's 100% confessions.
Can you hear me? I'm on mute. I'm pressing the mute button.
Some red emojis in the chat.
That is suboptimal. I'm sure the meeting is working when we hold that second. Well, I left, everything was fine. Yes. That makes sense. That long. So it's fine.
Thank you, Rick.
Oh, you guys wired the joint. Yeah, right.
Okay, we're on record in State versus Davis, C337407. We've gotten through some of our technical issues. Anything else we need to address before bringing in the jury? Okay, let's bring them in.
Yeah, the jury.
It's fine.
This man is going away forever, honey. You've been confessing forever, Keefe. How in the world right now you suddenly not it? Now you didn't do it. I didn't do it. Why you stand just like George Jefferson? No, Sanford and Son. You stand like Sanford. You know, Sanford and Son. You know how you stand? Like this.
So the party stipulates to process the jury.
We do.
Okay, you may all be seated.
Thank you.
At this time, the state may call their next witness.
Frank.
All right, Mr. Becker, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to have my clerk swear you.
Please raise your right
Yes,
hand.
ma'am.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Brent Becker, BRENTBECKER.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, you're retired these days. Is that correct?
Oh, he was a cop.
Yes, sir.
And what'd you do for a living before you retired?
I was a police officer for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
And what years were you with Metro?
I was there from 1984 to 2011.
And in September of 1996, what was your assignment?
I was a detective with the homicide section.
Do you recall how long you'd been with homicide when you, in 1996?
I got into homicide, I think it was November of 1994.
Ask him how many people he set up, because you know they used to do that shit all the time. They used to set people up all the time. Like they rarely solved a crime. They would just snatch up the first person they saw, you know, put something on them and say, "Yeah, you did it," and then that was it. They didn't do no police work. Not a bit.
Did you have a partner in 96?
Yes, it was Mike Franks.
And who was your sergeant?
Kevin Manning.
Kevin Manning. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Oh, he's gonna hold on a second. All right, he's gonna work on the echo.
Yeah, you got an echo. I'm glad y'all noticed that. It's definitely an echo.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On September 7th, or technically into September 8th of 1996, did you get called out for a shooting that happened, ultimately determined to happened at Flamingo and Koval?
Yes, Sergeant Manning called me. It was about 12:30 in the morning, and I was asleep, so it would have been September 8th. And so it was around 12:30. So by the time I got up, got dressed, and got there, it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning on the 8th.
And when you say you got there, what scene did you go to?
Yeah, what'd you say?
Initially, from what I recall, I went to Harmon in the Boulevard because that's where general assignment and everybody was at to get debriefed on things and get some of the notes. And then from what I recall, I went over to Flamingo and Koval to kind of look at the scene, but they had some witnesses from the car that supposedly was directly behind Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur back at Harmon and the Boulevard that I needed to interview.
Can we talk a little bit, first of all, Tupac Shakur is still alive on September 8th of 1996, correct?
That's what I was told. He had already been transported. He was not at the scene when I got there.
Is it somewhat unusual for homicide to be involved in a situation where there isn't a deceased victim yet?
That was very unusual, and normally we don't get called out, at least at that time, we didn't get called out unless there was a deceased victim. So it was unusual. I think when we arrived at the scene, we were told that because of the nature of who the victim was, General Assignment wanted us to come out to it.
Let me ask you, we've heard from a first responder today. Back in those days, what was general assignment? What does that
Hey,
mean?
Daryl.
General Assignment was in essence, the night detectives. They worked swing shift and graveyard shift. So they were the night detectives that if something needed a detective to respond, they were the ones that got called out to the scene.
So they would have been at this scene before you, and then they made a determination along with, I assume, the command staff that homicide should be called out to this investigation.
Correct. Actually, uniformed officers would have been the first people called to the scene of anything. And General Assignment, I'm sure, was monitoring the traffic. So if they had heard the call, they may have been responding, but they would have gone out, assessed the scene, and eventually determined if someone, the type of scene it was and if someone needed to come out to it. And in this case, I guess someone must have called Sergeant Manning because he's the one that called us.
Mm-hmm.
And your partner, Detective Franks, do you recall where he responded to?
I believe he got sent directly to a University Medical Center, the hospital, which is where Shakur and I believe Suge Knight got sent to.
And your responsibility, was there also crime scene analysts that were called up to the scene?
Yeah, my initial response was to the scene to start handling things directly at the crime scene, yes.
And then does at some point crime scene analyst Dan Ford show up and document the scene while you're present?
Dan Ford was already there from what I recall. They were called CSAs back then, I believe. Dan Ford would have already been there. Usually CSAs, because CSAs were assigned to each shift. So I'm pretty sure he was that particular shift CSA. He would have already been out there doing whatever he did for the scene, marking it, taking photographs and such.
When you, at the end of sort of both the two scene investigations, so the Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard, as well as the Flamingo and Koval investigation, essentially, what was the facts you were dealing with?
Hey, Christy. Big Mitch, what's up?
Well, according to the witnesses that I had interviewed, Frank Alexander.
Nice, Big Mitch. First day. Like today was your first day? Like today's over? Or today's your first day like you about to start? You about to go now?
Malcolm Greenidge, Katari Cox, and Yafu Fula, and I'm just doing what I remember the pronunciation was. Okay. They were in the car behind Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur, and what they described was that a white car, and from what I recall, they described a white Cadillac pulling up alongside Knight's car, and someone inside that white Cadillac opening fire or shooting into the car that Knight and Shakur were at. Their descriptions varied a little bit, but from what I recall, I believe they all said it was a white car and more or less agreed it was a Cadillac. and there might have been a little bit of a variance between 2 and 4 occupants.
And what direction after the shooting does the vehicle head?
After the shooting, it would have turned south on Koval. That was at Flamingo and Koval, because the night group was heading eastbound on Flamingo, and the Cadillac would have originally been heading eastbound, but then it turned southbound on Koval.
And the nature of the bullet holes that are in the BMW that's located at Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard, all those bullets appear to be coming in from the passenger side of the BMW.
The impact strikes that I saw were all on the.
He's not the actual guy who shot Tupac. He's actually his nephew was. He was in the car. He's one of the ones in the car. He's actually the only one left alive that's still alive. Who was in there was 4 people in the car, and he's the only one of the 4 that is still alive. His nephew was in the car. He's the one who actually shot Tupac. Then it was a driver, then it was him, and then it was another guy, and all 3 of the other guys are all dead already. And so now he's the only one left. And he's been confessing that they were the ones who did this the entire time, like all over the internet. I mean, just telling the whole entire story. He had even been told it to the police like long time ago. But for some reason, they weren't really trying to prosecute. Now, my theory, they weren't like pushing it yet. My theory is that they are doing this now because they want to link it. They want to go ahead and link it to Diddy, because Diddy is the one who set them off to do it. It was Diddy's doing. That's what's always been. That's always been a thing in the ethos. But it's being confirmed allegedly by this Keefe D has told the story so many fucking times that that's what it is. So that's what the situation is.
Right rear passenger door, the right front door, or the right front passenger door. I believe there was some sort of a mark or impact on the windshield.
Big Mitch.
Those were the strikes that you could see. It was you couldn't tell if anything had been a stray of any kind. So,
at your scene, you have bullets being shot from south to north into the passenger side of Shogun Tupac's car, but you have no idea how many actual bullets are fired because you can only see the strikes which are in the car.
Correct. All I can see is what the actual impacts are. That doesn't mean that's how many shots were fired. That's just how many struck the vehicle.
Oh, no. He's always said that it was the nephew. It's always been known that it was actually the nephew who pulled the trigger. He didn't, that never changed. That was always the story. The thing is that I think he just expected that they never were going to do anything about it because they never did. Like, nothing ever came of it. It's not like he did it, but now he's saying since everybody's dead, he's pushing it off on somebody else. The story was always that when the nephew was still alive, when one of the other ones was still alive, the story has stayed the story. Keefe D is not the shooter. Like, this guy isn't the shooter. It's like 100% he's not the shooter. His nephew was the shooter. Like, that's just what happened, right? But but he's, it's like it would have been if they were all still alive. They all would have still got the same crime. They all were in on it together. He died. They killed Tupac. They all get the same exact murder, and that's what it is. So it wouldn't matter who pulled the trigger. He's in there. He's all part of it. Like, that's how it works. So it's not him pointing finger. The story was always the same.
And I think we have another witness who's going to testify to this later, but there are a number of casings or cartridge cases, expended cartridge cases that ultimately get collected from the southbound lanes of Flamingo right before Koval. Is that correct?
Yes, without seeing the report, I know that there were fired cartridge cases recovered from the street. I do recall that the number of fired cartridge cases recovered from the street did not match the number of impact strikes on the vehicle. which wouldn't have been surprising considering what traffic probably was on Flamingo on a Saturday night and
Okay.
probably the delay of anybody arriving there, at least from law enforcement.
What happens when, in your experience as a detective,
Oh, and also him though, Keefe D is the person who set the thing in motion though. Like he's the person, allegedly the story is that he's the person who is the link with Diddy. He's the link to Diddy. And so he's the one who created the situation to get rid of Tupac, which is what Diddy wanted, was, kind of wanting him to do. So that's what, the whole thing is Keefe's fault. Like this guy, the whole thing is his fault. Like he set it all up, but he's just not the one who pulled the trigger, but he's the one who set it up. And he's the only one left that was still alive out of the four. And Diddy ain't never getting out. They doing all this right now. They insist on doing all this right now because Diddy is going to be coming out. Diddy only got 2 years left, if that he's got to do, and then he's going to be able to come out unless this thing, they finish with this and then they have that and they use that to get Diddy. Absolutely. And then Diddy ain't never coming out.
there's a bunch of
He gonna
cartridge
be
cases
forever
laying in
prisoner.
a busy street and cars driving through. What can happen to those cartridge cases?
Well, especially prior to the uniform officers getting there, cars are driving over them. They're either getting caught within the tread of the tires or they're getting thrown down the street or thrown into a rain gutter they could go a lot of different places. We've investigated numerous shootings within streets where you've had fired cartridge cases scattered all over the place.
Hey,
and you never know for sure if you've got all of them, because if something gets caught within a tread of a tire and it doesn't get ejected, unless someone tells you about it later or it gets ejected somewhere else, who knows where it ends up.
In addition to that, when you have your shooter inside a vehicle, are there times that you found casings have gone into the vehicle that the shooter's shooting from?
Yeah, that would depend on if the shots were fired with the handgun inside the window of the car or if the handgun was outside of the window. Obviously, if the handgun is outside of the window, there's a higher probability, if it's a semi-automatic pistol, there's a higher probability that all those fired cartridge cases ended up outside. If the handgun is on the inside of the vehicle, you have a higher probability of some fired cartridge cases ended up staying inside the car. If it's a revolver, then everything is going to stay within the handgun.
Eventually, I'm kind of jumping forward here. Do you have those
that's
casings forensically tested?
Hey, Alicia.
The firearms examiner ends up testing them. I believe they were able to determine that they thought a Glock, it was going to be a 40 caliber. They were able to determine the caliber. And I believe, because I guess I'm not the expert, the firearms people are, but that a Glock has a particular marking that shows up, and I believe they determined that they thought it was a Glock that fired the weapon, that fired the cartridge
Diddy did it.
cases.
Allegedly.
So now you're looking
Allegedly,
for
Jasmine.
a white Cadillac
definitely
occupied somewhere between 2 and 4
did it
times,
allegedly.
heading south on Koval and a Glock 40 caliber firearm.
Oh, thank you, Alicia, for my gold
That was
coin.
the information we had eventually at the time, yes.
After speaking to the witnesses, did you have any suspect information?
The only thing we had was 2 to 4 people, probably already all black males. Mm-hmm. The shooter, all we had was a black arm. There was a question of whether it was out the driver's door window or out the back window. There was a lot of questions. And this was strictly coming from the 4 gentlemen, Alexander, Greenidge, Cox, and Fula, from the car that was behind them. You got to realize.
Hey, you want to know which door it was? Just ask Keefe. He been confessing this whole fucking time. I'm sure he won't stop now. Hey, Keefe. Hey, Keefe. Which door was it? Right, dumb. Been telling on himself for 20 years.
As I learned later, there was an entire convoy or entourage, whatever you want to call it, that had been behind them. And none of those people were around. Everybody had skedaddled before we got there, or at least by the time I got there. And so the only information we had was what General Assignment had acquired from, I believe, a couple of witnesses that they had talked to and some of the people at the scene. I think Detective Franks talked to some girls later on that had been at the scene.
Yeah, no, this guy right here, this Keefe D, he set up the whole thing. Like, he's the main guy, actually. He didn't pull the trigger, but his nephew did. But he was in the car, and he's the one who set up the whole thing. It was his plan. It was his that he executed it. He set the whole thing up, and he's the link to Diddy, allegedly. Of course, we gotta say allegedly. We gotta do it. We gotta say allegedly. We have to, even if we don't believe it. We have to. Just kidding. We believe in the alleged. We believe in the alleged. We believe that we can fly. Okay, but Diddy is the link. Keefe is, along with all the tattletelling that Keefe D has been doing over the years. He's always said the same thing. It was Diddy's idea. It was Diddy's plan. Diddy's the one who set him up to do it. Diddy was the one who wanted. He was jealous as shit of Tupac. Like, Diddy was so jealous of Tupac because, as funny looking as Diddy is today, you guys, let me tell you, Diddy is handsome now compared to what he was back then. Okay. Diddy looked just like a rat. Diddy used to look exactly like a rat. Like, he looked exactly like a rat. I remember this, like, I used to be like, what the fuck? This poor man. He got all this money and he can't do nothing about that face. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta sting. It's gotta do it. It's gotta sting. Okay. Yeah, his name is Keefe D. Ooh.
Now, during the course of this, you mentioned Frank Alexander. Do you know what Frank Alexander's responsibility was that night in the car behind Suge and Tupac?
Frank Alexander said he was Tupac Shakur's bodyguard.
And Yafula? I'm not even going to say his name right either.
Fula and Greenidge and Qatari Cox were supposed to be part of the Outlaws. I guess it's like the group, I don't know if you call them the band, but the part of the group that performed with Tupac Shakur.
And those are the only four that stuck around by the time you got there and you were able to take statements from.
I believe they were the only four. Plus, I know there were a couple other guys that are mentioned in the report. I think Kevin Woods was one of them. And I think they must have got stopped by General Assignment or somebody when Suge Knight had made the U-turn to flee or drive away and ended up at Harmon and the Boulevard. Everybody else was gone.
I want to fast forward a little bit. Did you learn of an incident that occurred at the MGM casino shortly after the Tyson-Seldon fight?
We eventually learned that. No one claimed that night, but yes, there was a videotape that came about and information about a fight that was caught on videotape where a person was kicked, beaten down by Suge Knight and a bunch of other people in that group. Tupac Shakur was in the group, and Frank Alexander was off in the side.
When you learned about that, did Metro initially know the identity of the victim of that beating?
The only thing we had, I believe, was the first name of Orlando. one of the officers that was at the fight that night, I think they were working off duty, because we also saw some video where they had talked to the person. He was wearing a football jersey, and I don't believe there was a written down ID where the ID was obtained, but the first name of Orlando was on there. That was all we had at that time.
Did you make efforts to talk to Suge Knight?
I know that night at the hospital, Detective Franks attempted to, he said. And then I know that for 2 to 3 days after that, we attempted to, and finally were able to get him in and conduct an interview with him.
How did that come about? How does Suge Knight wind up at Metro?
Well, the first couple of attempts weren't very successful, put it this way. He didn't want to come, he didn't come in. In fact, I think the one time he was supposed to come in, he didn't show up. And then the night he did, I think it was 3 nights after, it would be in the report. When he did arrive, he showed up with David Kenner, David Chesnoff, and George Kalisis, who were all 3 attorneys who were his representatives, which we thought was weird because Suge Knight was a victim. And I think Reggie Wright Jr. might have been out in the lobby waiting. And then that's when we were finally able to conduct a taped interview of Suge Knight with his 3 attorneys present.
And what were your impressions from that interview?
Suge Knight was not the Suge Knight I expected. Everything, we had done a lot of research in the short time we had been involved, and Suge Knight was not a very timid person in the previous interviews we had seen of him. He was a very boisterous, in charge kind of guy. He was very timid, and to us, his interview was very practiced, and he was very timid, and I thought he lied to us. He just didn't know anything.
Your impression was he was withholding information about what happened.
He just basically said he didn't know anything. Couldn't recognize anybody.
A few days, or maybe a week even, does there come a point in time when you get contacted by law enforcement in Los Angeles area, whether it be LAPD, LASO, or Compton PD, that assists you in your investigation?
Tupac Shakur passed away on September 13th.
Oh.
We attended the autopsy, and
That fucker killed Tupac. We'll never forgive you, sir. You ain't shit. Ain't that something? It's always an ain't shit piece of shit that do away with the person who is worth a damn. That's always the case. It's always that losericious nobody that never could do nothing. That destroy all the
we were
potential.
later contacted. Well, I think there was probably some contact with other people within the homicide section. You got to realize there are people higher up than us, but eventually Tim Brennan from Compton PD,
Try to red
I think
emojis
Mike
again.
Coette,
Red emojis in the chisel
and
from Mama.
Fontenot, something like that from Los Angeles County Sheriff's came down to exchange information, and that's when we showed them the videotape from the MGM.
And once you showed them the videotape from the MGM, were they able to identify for you, first of all, who Orlando was?
They immediately recognized Orlando Anderson. They told us that's Orlando Anderson.
And do they also identify some of the people that are with Suge that you didn't know might have been with Suge?
They recognized Suge Knight. I think they did by monikers, if I remember right. There might have been names. I think Buntry was in the picture, a guy named Buntry. There may have been some others that would have, again, it would be on the report because we did document all this.
Does Trayvon Lane sound familiar to you?
Trayvon Lane.
Yes, Trevon Lane does sound familiar.
What about Neckbone?
They ended up identifying a bunch of people because we ended up getting a substantial amount of information from them.
Does there come a point in time when they let you know that basically there's something happening in Compton that might be really indicative of who may have killed Tupac?
Well, we learned that they had a series of shootings occurring in Compton, and
it was Diddy. Was it Diddy? It was Diddy, right?
We're getting a lot of information from informants.
About Diddy? Was it about Diddy?
That was interesting to us. The problem was it was all from informants. We didn't have any actual people that would come forward and testify.
That's what informants are for.
It was
that's what informants are for, sir. Okay? They tell the informant, and then the informant tells you. That's how that works.
Information we could use, but we didn't have any witnesses that would be willing to talk to us. It was all hearsay for us.
And before I get too far into the time you go to Compton the first time, were you able to identify that Suge Knight, Tupac Shakur, and their entourage was staying at the Luxor?
Well, yeah, we knew that after the beatdown at the MGM, they had all gone because the MGM security had videotaped or filmed the group going through the casino and exiting, and we got information that they went over to the Luxor where they had rooms because we observed or saw some videotape down in the valet area after they had changed clothes and were meeting down there for some vehicles where they had left to go to Suge Knight's house there in Las Vegas. I know he does, don't he?
Judge, I have in my hand a certified record from Luxor of the reservations as 124. I'd offer it.
No objection, Honor.
So admitted.
So you mentioned something that I guess I should get to. Suge and Tupac's group leave the MGM, go to the Luxor, and then did you have law enforcement outside, not for this purpose, but did you have law enforcement working security near Suge Knight's house here in Las Vegas?
We did not. Homicide did not. Apparently, there was an off-duty assignment at Suge Knight's community. I guess it's a gated community is where his house was at. And they were working off duty because of whatever the event was.
And so did you learn that after the Luxor, they went over to Suge's house?
Yes, we learned that they went over there. There was, I think, a gate log or something. And we learned that several people had gone over there, gone inside. And we eventually acquired that gate log, and then sometime after they had arrived at the house there, they departed, and
that's when the incident occurs.
That's not long after that is when the incident occurred.
All right, let me get back to Compton. At some point, you get told that the Compton Police Department is going to execute search warrants on all of the Mob Piru and Southside Crip residences that they could identify as part of their investigation into the ongoing war now that's happening between Mob Piru and the Southside Crips.
It was kind of twofold. We were told that they were serving search warrants on all these locations for these different groups or gangs, but that there was also at least one murder warrant for Orlando Anderson that they had there in Compton. So it was our understanding that they were going to be arresting him on an outstanding murder warrant there in Compton.
Were you present in Compton?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Orlando is the nephew. I could be mistaken, but I don't think I am. I think pretty sure Orlando, if I'm remembering correctly, is the nephew, the one who actually pulled the trigger on Tupac. So I guess he had other bodies also. Hey, Bob, what's up, baby? What's popping? What's popping, boo?
When those warrants were executed?
Mike Franks and I did travel down and were present to witness the search warrants being served by Compton, and I believe I don't know if the Los Angeles County Sheriffs participated, the actual deputies. I know that their jail facility people were there.
And you talked about this before. That warrant, had you seen a copy of the affidavit for that warrant?
Yeah, I saw one way back in '96, and I think I've seen one here recently that you showed me that kind of refreshed my memory.
And within that, all of the witnesses are identified as CRIs. Do you know what they were calling CRIs?
What I was told is that it was called a confidential, reliable informant. I don't recall any person being named as a testifying witness to anything. It was all based on confidential, reliable informants that the search warrant was being based on, which I guess in some cases that's not unusual. I know narcotics cases do that quite often, but eventually if you're going to successfully prosecute a case, you need to have somebody willing to testify.
So on October 2nd of 1996, were you present on Burris Ave when Orlando Anderson's residence was, when the police hit it and searched that residence?
I can't tell you if it was Burris Avenue. I remember being somewhere where Orlando Anderson was arrested, yes.
And during that, did you find out information as to where Orlando Anderson was staying when he was in Las Vegas?
Well, yeah, we kind of had an idea before that, but then when he was arrested, we kind of confirmed it that he had been staying at the Excalibur Hotel. We knew he'd been in Vegas because we had him on videotape, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Judge, I have in my hand.
Yeah, Tupac beat the brakes off of him and he couldn't take it. He came back with a pea shooter because that's what cowards do. That's what pieces of shit cowards do. That's what people people with hostility and no hands do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm furious, but I ain't got no hands, so I'm gonna pull this thing out and just, because I'm scared also of retaliation after I do what I do. So I'm gonna have to kill you just to make sure that you can't come back and hurt me because I'm scared. That's a coward's plan. That's what happened. Okay. Tupac was a fighter, honey. He's a fight. He was a fighter, little thing. But he was not walking around trying to kill nobody. Okay, not at all. He was sensitive. I hate this fucker. He's the devil. You'll never be forgiven for killing Tupac. He was an angel. An angel. And don't nobody tell me no fucking different. I'm going to be offended as hell. I'm going to take it personal. He's a 100% part of my family. I'm going to take it like that. Might as well be my brother you talking about. That's how sensitive I am about my Tupac. Okay. I'm personally invested.
State's proposed exhibit number 125, which is a certified copy or it's a certified record of the Excalibur. I offer it at this time.
You want to make your approach?
Yes.
Look at this piece of shit. Look at all. Oh, you confused? You don't know why you're here, sir? What's that look? Let's look of what's oh, you gonna rub your hands together? Oh, you gonna rub your hands together? Oh, yeah. Okay, sir, that looks diabolical, okay? That looks absolutely diabolical. Not him rubbing his hands together, y'all. Not him rubbing his hands together like so. Oh, here we go.
That will be admitted.
I did it. I done did it.
Okay, now I'm
Oh,
trying my best
if it gets
here
working.
to share my screen with
Oh
you.
my God.
And see.
Straight villain.
I want to show you just one little portion of this particular record. Oh. All right. Share screen.
He looks so confused. Like, what's happening? What's going on?
I guess I should have it up.
I know. Bastard. He's a bastard. He's a bastard with a big ass head. Okay. Chicken nugget head. His head look like a chicken nugget. You know, like one of the ones that's like, not the one with the peak off the side with the pointy part, but like the regular shape.
I see you. I don't see the document. Oh, wait a minute.
Like
It just
like
flipped.
A chicken nugget. Head shaped
see
like
that
a chicken
document
nugget.
now?
Face.
Yeah, I do see a document. It's a affidavit of custodian of records.
Okay, I'm going to roll down here to page 2.
Okay, it's a receipt from Excalibur.
Well, how much is it for? It's like $40.
Zoom in here.
With
Maybe.
his broke ass. He was jealous
That's
of
the search
Tupac
button.
success.
Is this going to let me?
Or the Birdman hand rub. Oh yeah, Birdman.
I see
does
some
it all the
writing
time.
down there. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
short
it's
stack.
zoomed.
Yeah, I'm just going to get to that writing now that I've
Put
zoomed
some respect on my name.
Okay.
in. So on page
All right.
2 here, there's some handwriting on there.
That's the Stardust and Monte Carlo.
You recognize that handwriting?
That's my handwriting.
Oh, look at that. That's back in the day when they used to have to pay for phone calls, y'all. Little long distance phone call, 50 cents. Can you believe time used to be like that? That life used to be like this? You used to have to pay for long distance phone calls, y'all. Like a separate fee, an extra fee if it was long distance. That's diabolical. That's diabolical, y'all. Now you don't even need a fucking phone. There's a billion different ways to communicate with somebody without ever picking up a phone. Well, you'll pick up a phone, it'll be a different kind of phone, though. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed. They have changed.
So how does that handwriting wind up on this record? What do you do?
Yeah, how I get
Well,
here?
without seeing a report, I wrote it on there. There's no doubt that I wrote it on there. The question is why I wrote it on there. That it's dated September 8th. There's says they're local calls, and I put Stardust for one phone number, which and then the Monte Carlo for the other phone number.
Does that suggest to you were looking
he's
to
talking
see
about-
who Orlando Anderson was, what other hotels he was calling?
Talking about these
I'm
little
wanting to
writings
see
here.
what the phone calls are, and the Stardust call is at 9:41. It should be if it's correct, 0941 is 9:41 a.m. and then Monte Carlo is at 0946, and then right after that is the Stardust again at 0947 again.
Now, there's been some discussions, and I guess we'll get to that when we get a little bit farther.
They were all
but
staying at different hotels.
why don't we address some of that now? Was there a problem at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department of information related to your investigation being leaked publicly?
Well,
Yes.
I became aware that there may have been.
See how he don't want to just say yes? The answer is yes, sir. We know who it was too. There was this police officer. He used to dress like a pimp. Black dude, light skin. He used to dress like a pimp. That's who people thought for a little while. People was thinking, and he was the one that did it. Allegedly, all of this is alleged. Okay, but back in the day, there was this where he had like a tan outfit on with like a tan, like kind of pimp hat. He basically was dressed like a pimp, and they said that he would do sometimes he would do like security and stuff when he was off from being a police officer, like his off hours. But he was like crooked. Was alleged. That's what was being alleged. Okay. And so whenever there was like leaks and shit like that, of course, everybody, it was like this thing. It was like, it must be him. Okay. Let's see. Let's see
Been
what they
some
say.
information being leaked. I couldn't say who specifically was doing it, but I was becoming concerned to the point that in our office we had shelves behind, not behind my desk, but there were some shelves where a lot of the case files were stored. And once this case continued and the nature of who the victim was, especially when he passed away,
Yeah.
there seemed to be a lot of interest in it,
Yeah.
outside
You think?
interest, especially with the media.
Yeah.
And I became concerned.
Yeah. Even back then without the internet and all that shit, we still was all over it. Okay. Tupac's death was like, it was like, you remember back in the day with Elvis, when people thought Elvis was still alive when he was gone and everybody trying to figure out what happened, or Marilyn Monroe. They ain't have no internet or nothing, but that shit was everywhere. Everybody had a theory about what happened, and was coming up with evidence pulling that shit right out of their asses. like I said, there wasn't no fucking internet. But it would still do it. Same thing for Tupac. Okay. There was a billion different theories. And all of it was based in some type of evidence. Because I mean, people figured out who these people were way back then. So
Concerned about it, so I started locking my case files in my
hey,
desk
Marilyn,
because I didn't
what's
want
up,
them to
boo?
be available. Because I had left things on my desk, and a couple times I had found things different than when I left them, and it just bothered me. So that's why I locked them up.
Did there come a point in time when you started saving your reports to a different type of medium than just the computer?
Well, yes, there were some reports that I ended up not sending off to records because I was putting them on what we had then was called a floppy disk. I guess today they've
Yeah.
got a lot different technology, but
Yeah.
back then we had a thing called a floppy disk. Because we actually did some reports early on that I still don't know where they are. We did a pen register early on that I guess nobody can find. We went looking for a vehicle on another guy that nobody can find. There's just a lot of things that disappeared. And some of them are reports that were before I even put them on floppy disk. So yes,
floppy
I had
disk.
some concerns.
Were you aware that some Metro employees sold a Polaroid of Tupac on the autopsy table to the Daily Mail?
I was after we did the autopsy, I was outside the autopsy room. I cannot say that I saw a person take the Polaroid photo of Tupac Shakur's body. I saw somebody walk into the autopsy room where his body was at with a Polaroid. And then I don't remember how long after that a book was published by a Kathy Scott that it was a Polaroid photo of his body. It wasn't one of our photos of his body from the autopsy. It was quite obvious it was a Polaroid photo afterwards because it was not a photograph that we took. We didn't take those kind of photographs at an autopsy.
I don't know. Thus, what did they say? Thus, something protests too much. Thus, protests too much. I don't know, sir. Get your words together. It's giving It's giving, you know exactly where that picture came from. Okay. It's giving whose camera, your camera. I'm just saying, allegedly. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. The way that it's like, just answer the fucking question. You're saying it every which way that you can, aside from the right way.
Obviously, we had no reason to.
Yeah, we had no, I don't
But
even know
needless
the
to
camera. What's
say,
that?
there
I don't
you yourself had concerns about the security of the information as it relates to the investigation.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, going back to exhibit number 125, it
The
says
yellow
on
emojis in the chat.
September 8th at 9:46 a.m., it appears the Monte Carlo was called, correct?
Correct.
And, Judge, I have marked State's proposed exhibit number
This one right
126,
here.
which
He
is a
wrote Monte
certified
Carlo.
copy of a record from the Monte Carlo I offer.
Excalibur.
Can I have a moment, please?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the year I graduated. Yep. It's terrible. That was terrible.
Person was in there because of the beatdown at the MGM. I mean, and because of the information we'd acquired from Compton, then the other people, I think Darnell Brim might have been in one of those because his name had come up. Duane Davis's name was in there.
Oh, I gotta go back. Sorry. It's because I paused it a couple of times. So I'm not caught
Okay,
up
they'll
with
be
the...
admitted.
All right, Detective, I'm going to try and do this. Change the screen for you and now put 126 up on the screen. Ooh. Apparently screen sharing has stopped. Let me put it up first and then... Now I got to go back to you and hit share. Can you see that now?
Now I do. There's a little delay, but it's a affidavit of custodian of records again.
Now this is the Monte Carlo, and I'm going to jump down to the first page. There's a name, Corey Edwards, at
Corey Edwards.
1301 East Sloan.
Okay.
And it looks like he arrived and departed the Friday night before, the Friday the 6th into Saturday the 7th of September of 96. You see that on the right side?
I see that.
And I'm going to roll down here.
Went all the way over there just to kill Tupac. Some bullshit.
A few pages in.
Thou doth protest too much. Exactly, Big Mitch. Thou doth protest too much.
A little bit here for you.
No, I can see the writing. The Excalibur. Well, go back.
Yeah, I gotta go back.
It zoomed too much.
There you go.
Okay, Excalibur, Sahara, and Luxor. That's my handwriting.
And so, does that suggest to you that you took this record and checked to see
where those phone numbers?
The local phone numbers that are being called on it. And I'm going to roll down.
Yes. So the Excalibur was September 7th at 10:01 a.m. Sahara, September 7th at 10:26, and Luxor was at September 7th at 10:32 a.m.
Now, initially, did you have any idea who Corey Edwards was?
I did not have Corey Edwards' name until Compton gave us that name.
So now you're in Compton you've executed search warrants.
Hmm.
You learn about the Excalibur. You learn about the Monte Carlo and Corey Edwards. I want to kind of fast forward now. Well, you mentioned something about a pen register. Does there come a point in time when you guys learn about an individual by the name of David Keefe that might have worked at the end?
He must have like a bump or something in his beard. He must have like a shaving bump or something, because he's been picking at this whole time. Like he just can't keep his hands off his face. Like it's just a problem. Like it,
MGM?
he can't do it.
Yes, we learned about him. Well, it would have been related to the pen register because it goes back to, I want to say, Yafu Fula's description when I took his statement. He gave a description that I recall. He described the driver of the Cadillac having a bitch face. That's the term he used. And I may have misunderstood the terminology at the time.
Uh-huh.
I might have thought bitch face meaning a younger looking face at the time, because there were some names coming up, and we had developed a name of Davion Brooks, who apparently was a Southside Compton Crip. And he was a fair skinned black male, and I don't know, we thought he kind of was a bitch face. And he was the person that the pen register was related to in a
That's fucked
place.
up.
It was south. I can't tell you the address right off the
Must have looked
bat.
like a girl.
It was south of Tropicana, between
Little
the
soft in the face.
boulevard and Koval. Because all we had, I think, was a cell phone or something, and we did the pen register, but David Keith's name came up somehow in that as a worker in Las Vegas. And for some reason, I'm going off the top of my head without the reports. He had I thought a full-size Blazer, because I used to own a full-size Blazer, and there was an address in Las Vegas and I know we went out and checked that address, but it turned out nothing was there. We couldn't determine anything, but that's how that all came about, David Keefe. And I know that we ended up, because we couldn't find Davion Brooks, at the time, I don't know what they got now, we had a thing called Scope, which the people would get their sheriff's cards or criminal history would go in there, and we could flag a person. So if they were stopped by officers or arrested, that we could be notified. And so we had flagged Davion Brooks, and I believe eventually we must have been down because I was out of town, but Mike Franks and Kevin Manning went and interviewed him.
So at this point, we have the names of Orlando Anderson, you have the name of Corey Edwards, you have the name of Davion Brooks, you have the name of Davion Keith. Kind of fast forward, but in November of 96, well, let me ask you this. Of all the people you interviewed in that car behind, was there anybody who said he thought he could make an
It's a
identification?
soothing reflex.
Yafu Fula, from what I remember, thought he could ID someone possibly. I thought it was the driver, but I'd have to look at the report. He's the only person that thought they could possibly identify someone. I don't recall anybody saying they could ID the shooter. Frank Alexander, Malcolm Greenidge, and Katari Cox were more or less more of the dark arm kind of thing.
When in November of 96 in New Jersey,
What if it? Maybe it is. Maybe he is the shooter. Actually, maybe Keefe is the actual shooter, and he's even more of a dick that he blamed it on his nephew. I'm seeing now that they're just taking his word for it because he's told his story so many times, and that's the way he tells the story.
Something
It don't
happened to
matter
Yafula.
either way, because
Unfortunately, Yafufula was murdered. We were notified, I want to say it was Orange, New Jersey, somewhere in that area. We learned that Yafufula had been murdered. This was after we had made several attempts because Death Row Records, David Kenner, who was the attorney, they had told us that if we needed to talk to anybody from the Outlaws or anybody, that we needed to contact them to make arrangements. And somewhere in the reports that there's several attempts were made to try to get a hold of Yafufula, and we got the runaround on that.
I want to fast
he
forward to
raised his
March
hand like he wanted to
9th
confess
of
to something just now.
1997. Did you become aware that another famous rapper by the name of Christopher Wallace, also known as
Biggie Smalls.
also known as Notorious B.I.G., was killed
Notorious just.
outside the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles?
Yes.
And LAPD was responsible for that investigation.
Correct.
At some point, do you have contact with Fred Miller, one of the lead detectives from LAPD?
Yes.
And then shortly thereafter, March 17th or so, did you attempt to contact, well, let me ask you this, did you contact Frank Alexander to do photo lineups?
Yes. Mike Franks and I went down and we met Frank Alexander. If that's what the report said, it was around March 17th down in Orange County, somewhere, California. And I had taken probably, I think it was 10 photo lineups that we had prepared because I had since the shooting and all, Frank had kind of turned around. I think he had gone cross with Death Row Records and things turned around and he was willing to meet with us. And that's when I showed him the photo lineups.
Judge and I talked to Mr. Stamp about not having to lay the foundation with each one of these with Mr. Stamp, but I have in my hand those 10 photo lineups, which are marked 76 through 85.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection to admission?
Yes.
All right, they'll be admitted then.
And I'm going to start with number 10,
Start with number 10.
which is 85.
Uh-huh.
I have to go in and out here a few times.
He ain't got no
But-
neck, honey. He over here like this.
Each of these photo lineups that you have done here, did you have a reason why you had these particular people in photo lineups?
Main players that were in these photo lineups were, well, obviously Orlando Anderson was in there because of the beatdown at the MGM. I mean, and because of the information we'd acquired from Compton. Then the other people, I think Darnell Brim might have been in one of those because his name had come up. Duane Davis's name was in there. Terrence Brown, Smith. There's another Davis. I think it's Duane Davis's brother, or he's related to him somehow. Is it Kevin Davis? I think.
Let me just share my screen and we'll go through each one.
Yeah,
one
share
by
your
one.
screen.
Yeah.
Share
I
your
just
screen.
remember there were 10 of them, and there was each person that was in the lineup. There was a reason for them being in there, just
I would
just to
hope so.
cover our bases. We had particular people we were looking at, but we wanted to cover the basis of everybody that had come up.
So on these lineups, This is page 1, page 2, and then on the bottom, page 3 has the names of the people that are in each of those positions. Is that fair?
Those are the lineup records, yes.
And so it shows on March 17th of 1997, you would have created the photo lineup record. That's your name down there.
Yes.
And this one, the suspect is number 6, Duane Davis.
Yeah, and I guess I probably spelled his name wrong.
Oh, by the way, Duane Davis is Keefe D. That's his real name.
And if we go to picture number 6,
That's Duane Davis.
There he
He's
is.
younger. I mean, obviously, it's been a long
30
time.
years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He looking at it like, wow, that's me. I was so not handsome because I look the exact same way now. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Keefe? It's okay.
Now, at this point in time, when you're showing these photo lineups, did you have a theory as to who was in this vehicle?
We had an idea from information. We didn't have anybody stepping forward to say anything in particular.
Yeah.
Okay. And who was it? Who did you think was in the car?
Well, the four names that we were leaning on was Duane Davis, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Those were the names that we'd been leaning on. But again, those are just the names we had.
Right. You had no live witness to tell you.
No.
You all had confidential, reliable, the CRI
We personally didn't even have that. I mean, I guess everybody else did, but we didn't have a name that would step forward to say anything.
No, I think actually, I don't even think it's something in his beard. I think he's having a problem with a tooth or something. Because he's grabbing that and it's like he's pulling it away from his jaw, like he's trying to grab it, this area, and pull it out. And see how he's doing this, like, kind of jaw thing? Like, yeah, I think he's having, like, a tooth problem.
And I believe the CRIs were even throwing out Darnell Brim and other people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kind of go through each one of these, but there's one I want to show you. And you've looked at these 10 photo lineups recently, right?
Correct.
And then there's another 6 photo lineups that you have where there's just a handwritten log that goes with them, right?
Yeah, and after looking at those, I'm wondering if those are photo lineups that I did later, because the 4 girls that I think Mike interviewed that night at the shooting scene,
Uh-huh.
I had attempted to get in touch with them, and I think I talked to a couple of them, and 1 or 2 of them lived in the LA area. And I think it was LAPD, we had sent some lineups to them to look at. Those might have been the lineups we sent to them, actually, because it was, 97 or 98? And I think technology might have got a little better by then.
So let me click out here. Judge, I have in my hand the log of the 86, and then State's proposed exhibits 87 through 91, which are the other 6 lineups. 5 lineups, excuse me.
No objection. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No objection.
They'll be there.
So let me start with the log for you, and then we're going to go back to the other ones for just a minute, but let me pull up the log first. Oops. I'm sure there's more technologically advanced if you were younger. If I were younger, we could figure out how to do this easier, but...
You're doing better than me, so...
These are the logs. This is the logs you wrote for each one of those lineups, right? So you had Orlando Anderson in one, Darnell Brim in another, Roger...
Sure, these are probably notes that I wrote down because we were just trying to put something together to send off, because I'm seeing... Well, Roger Williams would have been, wasn't a Southside Crip, from what I remember. He was a mob guy or something. He was the opposite of everybody else.
Roger Williams, do you recall his nickname being Neckbone?
Yes, because I think we got to talk to him briefly down in Compton.
The name Jerry Bonds was the name that was
Jerry
coming up?
Jerry Bonds was a name that came up very, very early on. And I think Compton had it. And as time went on, Jerry Bonds' name kind of was fading out. I think he's a South Side Compton Crip, but as things went on, his name just started disappearing, even from the informants.
And then the last one on there is Big Dre or DeAndre Smith.
DeAndre Smith, who is the guy that we think was in the back seat with Orlando Anderson.
Welcome back, Marilyn. Mary Butler.
I'm going to go to
some purple
the
emojis
DeAndre
in the
Smith
Chizette.
photo lineup, and that's 91.
Because I said so. Purple emojis. For Tupac. Ooh.
And he'd be in position number 3, correct? Oh, wait, you can't see it. I didn't share it with you yet.
Nothing's popped up yet, so.
Let me share it with you. But if your log has him in position number 3, that'd be him in number 3, correct?
Looking at it, yeah, that face kind of looks familiar. And that number 15 would be my writing. So this is one of the later photos. Yes. And this this is definitely one of the later photos. This is one we had early on.
So now I want to go to photo lineup that you wrote as number 1, which is States Exhibit number 76.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe I have to stop the share every time, but. I'm going to zoom in here on number 2 and then share it with you here. Maybe. The person there in number 2, that appears to be DeAndre Smith, correct?
Yes. That's probably an early photo because what I'm looking at, I think, is probably, I don't know if those were California DMV photos or what, because from what I recall, we had to cut the pictures out because the backgrounds were all different colors, and we were trying not to make different colors on the photo lineup so we didn't come into conflict down the road with anybody. I think Mr. Sanford would agree. If you have a yellow, red, blue, that causes issues. So that's why we did this. And this is all we had that was available at the time.
So I want to roll down here. The weird thing about this record is
number 6 didn't have a name.
Number 6 didn't have a name, but also number 2, even though it's a picture of DeAndre Smith, the record you have written is Andre Norton. Is that possibly an AKA for Mr. Smith?
Probably. We're talking what, 97? Yeah. Andre Norton. I'd have to look at his rap sheet. I don't know. But because there's no ID number over there, that's probably what it is. Because usually if there's an ID number, that's a Metro thing. And DeAndre Smith, whatever, wouldn't have had anything, because I don't think he had a history with Las Vegas.
Now, as I go through each of these photo lineups that you have, let's go to number 2, which is States Exhibit number 77. And we roll down here. Well, I guess I should share it for you so you know what I'm talking about.
He gonna cry in the car. Okay.
We,
He killed Tupac so long. Let's see, 96, 06,
we roll down
1626.
here, and position number 3 is Orlando
30,
Anderson.
30 years
Is that right?
ago.
Okay.
It's been 30 years. Wait, September. Oh, it's damn near the anniversary, a 30-year anniversary, actually. September will be 30-year anniversary of when he killed Tupac. Thought he got away with it forever. You let somebody run around roam free for 30 years after doing something like that, confessing to it every year, and they still roaming. Of course he thought that.
You're right.
And position number 3 is Orlando.
Yes, that's Orlando. He had a pretty recognizable face.
So this
And
is the
again, that would have
nephew.
been a similar deal where the
Oh yeah, he had those really thick eyebrows. The nephew had super duper thick eyebrows.
backgrounds were all different colors, so that's why we had to cut him out.
Shit, for all we know, allegedly Keefe may have killed all the other ones, so that so
I'm going to share with you 70.
that would
8?
make sense though, because then he ran around and did a confession tour. But never mind, he probably
And
didn't,
then show you down at the bottom,
or he's just dumb. Maybe he did and he's stupid.
Darnell Brim's in position number 1.
Yeah, when I saw the picture, it looked like him up in the something about the faces that kind of remember.
But that'd
Yeah.
be Darnell Brim.
That would be Darnell Brim.
That's Darnell.
Let's go to number 4.
This man ain't got no neck, y'all. He turned his whole body. He's like, what? He's like, what's who goes there? Who goes there?
And if we roll down here, position number 5 would be Jerry Bonds. And if we roll up here, in position number 5, we have Jerry Bonds.
Correct. Yes. Okay.
Number 5. Number 5, we roll down to the bottom, which is State's Exhibit number 80.
That's Davion Brooks. Yeah.
Davion Brooks in position number 5, and if we roll up here, that's Davion Brooks in position number 5.
Yeah.
And that's the potentially young kid, based upon what Yafula said, that caused you guys to do the pen and all those other things.
He's the guy who did the pen register on. Yes.
Number 6. Oops. And this will be State's Exhibit
That's an awful
number
lot of people to do one crime. Great, though.
81. I gotta share it with you. We roll down here. David Keefe is in position number 1, and so that would be David Keefe.
Yes. And the reason we put the tape on there is I think those were probably ID numbers or something. So we're again trying not to create problems with the different booking photos or something. And I don't know if this is a booking thing or a sheriff's card, but we just covered them up to lessen the conflict.
You learned during the course of your investigation that Mr. Keith worked at the MGM, which meant he must have a work card, ergo he must have a photo.
At a minimum, he had to have a work card, yes.
Hold the next one. Oops. Number 82. Go. We roll down 82, and in spot number 5 is Kevin Davis.
Kevin Davis, yeah.
And number 5 is a photograph of Kevin Davis.
Okay, yes.
And your understanding is that Mr. Davis, Kevin Davis, is Duane Davis's brother.
I think that's what it was. I knew he was a relative, but for some reason I thought they were brothers.
Do you recall a point in time when a .40 caliber Glock was found on Mr. Davis?
I don't remember if it was on him. There's 2 firearms that I can recall. I know that Mike Coette from the LA County Sheriff's Office had a firearm. If that was on him, then that would be it. He mentioned a Glock 40, and I had him enter those cartridges into what we had was drug fire then. I don't know if they still have it. And then I had our firearms people do the comparison on that.
And ultimately, that wasn't your murder weapon.
The firearms examiner said it was not the weapon.
And so, drug fire, which is, I think, the jury will hear later, is now called NIBIN. But drug fire was a way for photographs of casings to be put into a computer, and then somebody somewhere else could check casings that were found and see if.
Yes, that's a good point, Marilyn. Good point indeed. Okay. There was a time when Tupac died because there was the whole beef that was created by Diddy. Diddy created that beef, by the way. Okay. Diddy, in fact, okay, alleged. All things I'm saying are alleged. This is the word on the streets. Always was that Diddy had Tupac killed. Like, Diddy created this beef between those two. Tupac and Biggie were friends. They respected each other's craft because they actually had a craft. Diddy don't got no fucking craft. Diddy can't do nothing. Diddy can't even draw a paper like a stick figure correctly. Okay. The closest thing to a craft that Diddy ever got to was him calling himself a fucking dancer. Diddy couldn't dance. Diddy will hop around on the stage like a goddamn leprechaun with itchy powder in his pants. This is what he was doing. Okay. But those two were doing just fucking fine. But here come like Tupac, like Diddy was so jealous of Tupac. And he also hated on Biggie, even though Biggie was his guy. He was making all this money off of Biggie. All of his money actually off of Biggie. He was jealous of him too because he had a craft. You know what I'm saying? And so Biggie started making plans because he's not giving Biggie no money. He's making all this money off Biggie. Biggie ain't getting shit. Biggie, he was raking Biggie through the coals during all of this. He's creating all this beef, like, so everybody's all distracted. Kind of like what the government's doing to us right now. Creating this beef between everybody. So everybody's paying attention to each other and all fighting on each other while he over here scraping up all the motherfucking money. Okay, this is what Diddy was doing. Okay. So Tupac dies, that was all in the midst of all that. So then people are saying that it's Biggie. Like, oh, well, what if, Biggie, but it's clear, it's obvious. It's obvious that it's not fucking Biggie. And like, it's just way too fucking obvious. Right? But it's like, there's the rumor thing running around. Meanwhile, Biggie already was he's trying to make a play to get out from underneath of Diddy. Diddy did not fucking like that. And then all of a magical sudden, Biggie gets killed. Guess who did that? Guess who allegedly did that also. When I tell you, that's why I say Diddy, the fact that Diddy's been free all this motherfucking time, it's like it's diabolical. There's a reason why he felt so comfortable bombing fucking Kid Cudi's fucking car. Diddy been pulling strings, making people disappear, allegedly, of course, forever. Okay, that piece of shit's diabolical. When he was in college, he kicked I think he kicked a girl in the face. Was what it was. Like she didn't like him. He kicked a girl in the fucking face. Okay, allegedly. This all these things are alleged. But we've been hearing about these things forever. Okay, yeah. So yeah, but no, yeah. Absolutely, it was a whole bunch of stuff, and Diddy created all of it. Diddy created all of it. You know what I'm saying? It was all of it was Diddy. He's such a bitch, and that's not alleged. Diddy is quite the bitch. He is. He's quite the bitch.
They matched the same gun, casing to casing.
Yeah, the forensics guys that do all those firearms things, they know how to do all that stuff. All I know is if I get the information, I ask the people to enter it in to drug fire at the time, and then those firearms people know what to do.
They know
I
what to
depend
do.
on them.
They know what to do, them firearms.
So we only got two more here.
Red emojis in the chisette.
Let's
We're gonna
do
get some
number,
justice for Tupac.
your
Finally.
number 8, which
Jesus.
is going to be
30 years later.
my 83. In position number 2 is Terry Brown.
Terry Brown.
You see that right there? It says Terry Brown.
I don't see the photo lineup yet. I just see the lineup record.
Yeah.
Haven't.
Terry Brown would be in position number 2, correct?
Yeah, he's going to be in number 2. Okay. And I don't. Oh, there he is.
And
Yeah.
Photo number 2 is Terrence Brown.
That's the old photo. Yes.
And then the last record I have for you, Detective. Well, I have to share my screen with you. Excuse me a second. States Exhibit number
The like button for
84.
Mama.
You have
Corey
Corey
Edwards.
Edwards in position 3.
Okay.
And when we roll up here to position number 3, that'd be Corey Edwards.
What's going on with him? Why his eyes just up floating at the top of his fucking head? Like that's weird that we just looking at the white of your eyes underneath. Like what's that? What's up with that? Like what's the story here? Like what's this about? Is this a thyroid issue? Like what is this? What the fuck? Why his eyes just like floating up at the top of his eye? Like he's about to be
Does
possessed.
he always have that beard? I don't remember. It's been so long, but yeah.
But that must not be him. See how Keefe just whispered something to his lawyer? He must have been like, "Oh, that's not even the right guy. We'll be able to use that later." No, you won't. You're going to prison. Hey, Linda. What's up, baby?
Now, when you showed Mr. Alexander these photo lineups, was he able to pick anybody out?
He said he could not.
And do you know where Mr. Alexander is today?
From what I was told, he committed suicide, so he's deceased.
Did you attempt to show those photo lineups to Malcolm Greenridge?
I think it was the next day, because what started this was a newspaper article. So we went and met Malcolm with Reggie Wright Jr. And I think I learned later, because there's a report, that there's some other guy came with him. We met them at the Compton Police Department, and we sat down with Malcolm and we offered to show him these photo lineups. And Malcolm said he never wanted to see the lineups because he said he could never identify anybody. So basically, he declined to look at the photo lineups.
You mentioned a news story. What was in the news story that caused you to think you should go probably talk to Mr. Greenridge?
There's a reporter named Chuck Phillips that was working for the LA Times at the time that was, well, that's my opinion. Anyhow, Chuck Phillips was writing an article claiming that there were two witnesses that the Metropolitan Police Department were refusing to talk to, Frank Alexander and Malcolm Greenidge. When we got a hold of Frank Alexander and Malcolm Greenidge, they both stated that the words that Chuck Phillips used were not their words, that they had never said those words, and that Malcolm Greenidge said he said he could never identify anybody, so he had no reason to look at the photo lineups. Frank Alexander basically said the same thing, that the story was not the way he had told it.
Now, you were a homicide detective in Las Vegas, Nevada, Clark County, right?
Correct.
This crime appears to have come from Compton and returned shortly thereafter to Compton, right? All the witnesses, everything is there, correct?
Everybody that is related to this crime that we know of is coming from California, yes.
And so, are you a peace officer in California? You got the same powers you have here in Las Vegas?
No.
And how many times did you trip to California, generally, in an effort to talk to people about this particular case?
We made 10 to 12 trips to California. Not all of those trips were with law enforcement, because it came a time where we weren't necessarily wanting to deal with law enforcement. So we went down there that many times to try and to contact different people. In fact, every time we went to California, we tried to contact Death Row Records, but got the runaround. So
Yeah, good luck with that.
So ultimately, were you left with any avenue to further your investigation?
That's a negative.
the only thing we ever got was we ended up the revocation hearing for Suge Knight, where I ended up providing a videotape of from the MGM for the DA's office down there.
Let me ask you about that. So, Suge Knight, at the time that he is involved at this fight with Orlando Anderson at the MGM, he is on probation, both federal and state probation in California, correct?
That's the way it was presented to us, yes.
And at that particular hearing, did he call a witness in his defense to claim he was trying to stop the fight?
Orlando Anderson was subpoenaed as a witness for Suge Knight, yes.
And did he testify that Suge Knight was trying to help him, not hurt him?
Orlando Anderson, apparently, because I wasn't allowed in the courtroom, but apparently Orlando Anderson testified in court that day that Suge Knight was trying to help him.
And then were you the witness that laid the foundation for the videotape that disputed that testimony at that revocation hearing?
Oh. Burn the
Because
shit
I
out of the
had
tank.
talked to Orlando Anderson in Compton the day of the search warrants, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me differently, I was there as an impeachment witness in case Orlando decided to tell the story that he did tell. And I testified that Orlando told me otherwise, that Suge Knight and Tupac had basically beat him down pretty good.
Thank you, sir. Judge, I pass the witness.
All right, cross-examination, Mr. Sand.
Detective Becker, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I just need to follow up with a couple of things. Let me start off with this. So you talked a little bit about your powers as a police officer in Nevada. You had mentioned that those police powers end at the border of Nevada. Is that what I heard before?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, our basic law enforcement powers are within Nevada.
And and as a result, what that means is when you enter into another state, you're technically not a police officer per se. I mean, you are a police officer, but you don't have a jurisdiction. Is that how you would frame it?
Correct. If we were, say, to want to arrest someone in another state, I mean, you could have someone arrest them, but you'd have to go through an extradition proceeding to bring someone over to Nevada. So, and that takes time. It's not like you can just go grab a guy and bring him back to Nevada.
Right. Now, in terms of your work here on this case, I just wanted to make sure that I was clear on a couple things. We went through a lot of photo lineups, right?
Correct.
And you had referenced to me a little bit about the photo lineups, and fair to say, of course, as a defense attorney, you want to make sure that each photo lineup does not suggest the answer to the question, right?
Correct.
So back in those days, you're cutting pictures, you're actually cutting photographs out and just pasting them in such a way to try to eliminate backgrounds and so forth, so that the person that's looking at the photo lineup won't be suggested as to what the answer is.
That's what our attempt was. Yes, sir.
Now, just for the jury's edification, when someone is being shown a photo lineup, they're in a room, they see the photo lineup, and then at that point, you wait for them to respond and see which one of the 6 people in there they recognize, right?
Well, you'd show the lineup and ask them if they recognize anybody in the lineup. That's you don't say who in this lineup, do you recognize? You just say, do you recognize anybody in the lineup?
Right, and the reason why you ask that question that way is you do not want to suggest an answer to your question. Or
correct. You don't want to try and make them lean towards anybody in particular.
Right, because there are instructions that are part of those photo lineups that say there may not be a person at all that we're interested in the 6 people that we present to you, right? You could have a photo lineup with nobody in it that you would have as a target. Fair?
That's a fair statement. Yes, sir.
Now, in this particular regard, once a person sees who that person believes to be somebody associated with whatever investigation you're looking at, they typically would circle the picture and maybe put down a percentage of how sure they are of that person being the person that's involved in something. Is that how that works?
Yeah, typically what I would do anyhow is I'd have them initial the back of the photograph, the particular photograph of the person.
Right.
And if there was a percentage, yeah, I would have them put that on there, say it 80%, 60%, whatever that is, or 100%, whichever.
Now, of course, during this time period, as you are putting together these photo lineups, the majority of the individuals that the state identified in each photo lineup are people that are associated with Southside Crips. Would that be an accurate description?
Yes.
I believe everybody was, I don't remember, was Roger Williams one of them? Because he's not a Crip. He's a Piru or mob guy. So he's a Blood. But everybody else was a Crip, yes.
Right. And so because you were under the premise that there was a gang war, that the Southside Crips had actually shot at Tupac and Suge Knight because they were Piru Blood. And so you were identifying just Southside Crips and putting them into photo lineups. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, we were using Crips because that was the information. Again, we were basing a lot of things off the information we were getting from Compton.
Right, and even so, even as you're receiving this information from Compton, even as you sit here right now, sir, you weren't comfortable necessarily with all of the information you were receiving from Compton, right?
We weren't comfortable with certain things in Compton, yes.
For instance, the way they were conducting their business as law enforcement in Compton was not the way you would recommend or know that Metro would do here in Las Vegas. Fair?
We witnessed a couple of interview techniques that we weren't comfortable.
What? Big Mitch? I'm pretty sure Machiavelli came out after they released Machiavelli after he was dead. Like it got released after he died. Like it was already recorded, of course, clearly, you know, because he had so much stuff. He had so many catalogs. But he had but it was I thought the whole Machiavelli was like all of them were all after he died.
With yes.
Am I wrong about
Yes, sir.
that?
Now, in addition, as you are having these photo lineups, did these photo lineups ever go to anyone back in Las Vegas? For instance, we've heard some testimony from some females that were in a vehicle, some other people maybe that would have been at the scene. Were those photo lineups ever shown to anyone that was, like the girls in the Sebring or anything like that?
That's where I'm wondering. I think there was 5 photos later on that are shown, not the original 10. I don't remember the exact number, but there are 5 later photos. And I think I mentioned it during my earlier testimony that we sent to, I believe, someone in LAPD. And I know that of the 4 girls in the Sebring, I only think 1 or 2 said they were willing to look at the photo lineups, and I think photo lineups were sent to LA so they could show them to those.
And do
1
you
or 2
recall?
girls.
Do you
Yes.
recall what the results were?
Yeah, that got released, right? It got released in he died in August and it got released in November. Yeah, that wasn't Machiavelli. Machiavelli was released after he died. That must have been he must have released the album before he died. But Machiavelli was released in November. And he died in was it August? In September. He died in September. Yeah. So it was 2 months after he died. Let me see which one was before he died. Hold on.
Of those photo lineups being sent to the girls in LA?
I don't believe they identified anybody.
And fair to say that in this particular regard, the photo lineup that shows Terrence Brown, no one, as far as you know, no one identified Terrence Brown as being in a vehicle, even in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996.
Yeah, if Terrence Brown was in one of those photo lineups, then he wasn't identified, correct?
How about DeAndre Smith? Was he ever identified by anybody in a photo line and his photo lineup as being present in Las Vegas, Nevada on September 7th, 1990?
Yeah, see, All Eyes on Me was released in like 7 months before he died. In February 13, 1996, All Eyes on Me was released. And then he died in September. So, yeah, like 7 months before All Eyes on Me, he died. And then 2 months after that, they released Machiavelli. Because I remember that. I remember that. Because that was the whole thing. It was like, because, Machiavelli is like, Machiavelli, the story of Machiavelli was like killed like a bunch of times. They had to keep killing him. But they killed him like a bunch of different ways. They burned him, they hung him, they stabbed him, they killed him a bunch of different ways. That's Machiavelli, and that was the whole reason why they named it that. I think, you know what I'm saying. Ooh, I knew it. I'm like, I know me some Tupac stuff. I even my mama had Tupac's albums. Like Tupac was in my whole household, my whole house growing up. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
26.
Totally tied up.
I don't recall anybody being identified in a photo lineup.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, sir, your testimony was that you were the primary detective on this case originally.
Myself and Mike Franks, we didn't really have a lead, but yeah.
All right. You like drew the short straw basically on this one, right?
I guess I'm the guy that his name is all over everything, but yes.
Well, congratulations.
Look at everybody laughing except for Keefe. That's right, Keefe. You've been left out of the joke. Okay, you are the joke, actually. The joke rarely laughs because it's just a joke. Okay, everyone else laughs at the joke. Okay, and that's what you are, the thing to laugh at.
Let me ask you this question though: as a police officer, did you
shaped
write
like a chicken
reports
nugget.
of
Ooh.
all of your activity that you did during the course of this investigation?
Anytime we did something, I did an officer's report. I know Mike Franks did several reports too. Yes.
And would there ever be a time during the time that you were handling this investigation that you would have chosen not to have written
Yeah.
a officer's report?
Yeah, Big Mitch, you probably got it a little earlier.
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
No. If we'd have had a trip, especially any trip we did out of state, anything where we went out and did anything, I'd have done an officer's report. Back in the day, apparently they do things a little different. Even if it was a one paragrapher, we did officer's reports.
And as far as you know, based upon your knowledge of what happened to your file after you left, is the file complete in terms of your reports and what you did in this case?
I left it was, yes.
Is it now?
I don't know. I've never seen the case file, so I don't know what it looks like now. I've heard rumors.
Now, the district attorney's office had forwarded over to you some documents to help you with your preparation for testimony here today, right?
Correct.
Were those documents all of the officers' reports that you wrote while you were on this investigation?
No.
Now, in addition to that, sir, you had testified a little bit about the Luxor. I think you had mentioned something about there was some information that Tupac and Suge Knight had both had rooms at the Luxor. Is that correct?
That's the information we had, yes, sir.
Okay. In addition to that, was there any video that was captured of the vehicles that had gone to the Luxor to pick up Tupac while he was at the Luxor?
I don't remember a specific video of the vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, there was hearsay of vehicles, but I don't remember specific videos.
Now,
Off the top of my head, I don't. No.
right. And because you were the lead detective, of course, you're accumulating all of the information that's being gathered, sometimes from other police officers in furtherance of your investigation, right?
Yeah, if it's given to me, yes, and it's put into the case file, yes.
Right. And so with regards to the Luxor incident, you learned and you had put into your officer's report that Tupac Shakur was picked up with some people, looks like around 10 o'clock at the ballet. Do you recall that?
I don't think I did an officer's report reference the ballet. No.
I have a document here. Looks like your
Okay.
signature is at the bottom as the officer.
If you could show it to me, like I said, I've seen some documents from this that I don't recall, but if you have it, show it to me. I'd be happy. And
Do you want me to run it right over for you right now?
yeah, if you
I'm
could
kidding.
show
I'm
it to
kidding.
me.
Let me do. Let
I
me
just
do
don't
this.
recall it.
Now, I believe that we had submitted some documents for your review as well. Do you recall the documents
Right.
that we reviewed?
I remember, because I remember you showing me a document from LA that I didn't remember too. So,
Right.
But it's
This
been a
would-
while. So
This would be titled the Murder or Attempt Murder Supplement. Do you recall that document?
Okay. Wait a minute. Is this the report with Beard on it?
Correct. That's right.
Oh, okay. That report. Now I remember that report. Yes.
Right. And I apologize
I-
if I wasn't clear enough. But
Okay. I remember that report. Yes.
and in that report, for instance, there was a discussion about the number of vehicles that had pulled up to pick up Tupac, and one of the vehicles that was there was a Cadillac that was white with 4 black males in it. Do you recall that?
Correct.
Okay. So the way we're looking at it right now is Tupac comes out of the Luxor, he gets picked up in a long caravan of cars, and the last car is a white Cadillac with 4 black males in it. Right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's based upon your investigation.
Correct.
Now, in addition to that, we talked a little bit about the pen registers. Can you explain to the jury what a pen register is?
Pen register isn't the same as pen register is more or less you're getting a number and you're more or less recording those numbers. It's not quite the same as you're recording phone calls and listening to them. Where in that particular case, you actually have people in a room and they're actually listening to calls. And if the call is not pertaining to your investigation, you're supposed to turn it off and not listen to it. It's something that's not pertaining to it. And that a pen register is more or less information to record calls. It's a tool to assist you in your investigation if it turns out to be something that's valuable. That was the intent.
Right.
When we did the pen register, we never got to do it because we did the pen register. You have to file it with the county, and lo and behold, the next day it was in the newspaper. So basically, it was a waste of time.
Like magic,
Well,
huh?
I mean, for instance, the pen register would be you would target someone's phone number, right? And so
Correct. That was the intent.
And the pen register would record the numbers that were either going to that phone number or that phone number making phone calls out of that to other phones.
That was the intent.
Now, in this case, can you tell us, for instance, what Keefe D's phone number was at that particular time?
I couldn't tell you. No.
And with regards to the phone records that we had received, there were some numbers that were either from the Monte Carlo, and I don't know if it was from the Luxor, but do any of those phone numbers register back to a pager? Because this is 1996, right? So it's got to be a pager or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what was around 1996 besides the pager.
I believe those phone numbers were actually the phone numbers to the hotel.
Yeah, it was just a pager or an expensive ass fucking cell phone that you had to pay $30 per minute on. Only the richest of people had cell phones back then. Now even homeless people got cell phones. It's very different. Things have changed a lot. But phones also didn't do anything aside from make phone calls either. And now people hate talking on the phone. So times have changed.
Hotels themselves.
Right. And so outside of that, we don't have any fact that Keefe D's pager or phone number was either dialed to or received in from either the Luxor or the Monte Carlos, what's been shared here today, right?
Not on those calls, sir.
Now, in addition to that, you had mentioned as well the search warrants that occurred in Compton. Now, these search warrants that occurred, fair to say that they also they were doing these search warrants to try to retrieve firearms to help quell or to.
You ain't had no cell phone that was $15 per month in 1996. I call absolute 100% bullshit. Tell me what the phone line was. What phone company was it, Nate? Okay. Lie to me. Tell me no truth, you lying ass. You lied to me. There was no such thing back then. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. That did not exist back then. No. Okay. Even if it was 15, it was, you would have had to pay like it's still how much per minute. Okay. You had to pay. And then I don't even think back then it was even was back then was it even oh, you know what? No, 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 not in 1996. That's when I graduated. You know what? People had the little what's namey phone. Okay, so no, 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 no. Yeah, I'll say okay. So it turns out I'm not as old as I thought I was. Okay, so back then, this is what it was. It was like you would have your phone plan, and you could even have unlimited minutes, but it was like during the day and at night. No, no, no. You would have like a certain amount of what was it? What was it like? You had a certain amount of minutes, and then you had to like wait for the next day or so. What was it? What was it like after certain hours? It was like you would run out of minutes or something. How did that work? I'm trying to remember how that worked. Y'all tell me. How did that work? I think I was thinking. I was thinking like I'm from like the 80s. I think I was thinking like the 80s. My bad. My bad, Nate. I was thinking I was a little older than I actually was. My bad. I went back too far. I went back too far. I was thinking like Night at the Roxbury, like the phones that they used to use back then. It wasn't. It wasn't like that. That wasn't those times. Oops. Mm.
Suppress any potential violence in Compton. Is that the reason?
I had a
or purpose for
pager, honey.
those
We all
search
had
warrants?
pagers. I had a cute pager too.
I don't know what.
It was like that blue color and it was kind of clear color, like clear where you could see inside of it, like you could see the little inner workings of it because it was kind of clear and it was blue. Oh, it was so cute. Oh my God, pagers used to be so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like they had so many different cute ones. And then they started up with them phones that were so fun. Now phones are so fucking basic. It's like every phone looks like this. It's just a screen and a camera. And then they just basically just changed that just a little bit. Back in the day, they had all these phones, like they would slide open, spin around, fly in the air like a helicopter with it, you know? Okay. Okay, maybe that was an exaggeration. But that's what it felt like. You know, it felt like we were flying. You know, we would slide that thing up and tapping on them little keys. When I tell you them little keys, I remember I used to watch Paris Hilton tap away on her little a sidekick. You know, the phone would slide up and and that thing would be bejeweled. Oh, it would be so bedazzled. That thing would be 100% pink rhinestones, honey. Those were what a time to be alive, honey. What a time to be alive. Okay. Now everything just looks like this. The basic, you got to put a case on it, or it's gonna be destroyed. You know, back in the day, we could throw our phones at each other like snowballs. You know, that thing still be working. Screen be cracked like a motherfucker. Still working. Still working. That flip phone, you could take it to the grave with you. It's gonna work in hell. Okay. Now you get a cracked screen, and it's like, well, time to pay another $1,500. Bitch, I know you lying. These are the times we living in, honey. They is robbing us on purpose. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It
Hey,
was
Dark
their
One,
search
what's
warrant.
up?
I can't tell you what the purpose, other than my understanding was there was an arrest warrant for Orlando Anderson. All that other stuff, that's Compton's thing.
Yeah.
It was their search warrant.
And in terms of that search warrant, did you ever see the results, or was Keefe D's house or residence in Compton searched as well?
I don't remember. I'd have to. The return had so much information on there. I'd have to sit there and look at it again. I just don't remember right off the top of my head if Keefe D's house was on that return or not.
No worries, sir. And in terms of your investigation, did you ever have to deal directly with Reggie Wright Jr.?
The only face-to-face, and it would have been brief, would have been at Compton when he brought Malcolm Greenidge in, but I don't think there was any talk. And
Look it up
the
and see what cell
reason we
phones look like
probably
in
didn't talk to
96.
him was because his dad was a lieutenant at Compton.
And what did that mean to you as to why you wouldn't talk to him because his dad was a lieutenant?
Right, wrong, or indifferent, our feeling was, well, if your dad's a Compton lieutenant and you're the head of Death Row Records security, I just have a problem with the communications line there. Maybe I'm being distrustful on that. I just worry about what's being said between the two parties.
Were you aware during the course of your investigation that Reggie Wright Jr. instructed his people to lie to you?
I was told later on by Frank Alexander that he said that, yes.
In addition to that, we had talked a little bit about the video footage that was captured at the MGM. Did you at any point when you looked at that video footage observe or see Duane Davis, Keefe D, in that surveillance video?
No.
And then
taking
finally,
micro naps?
your recollection is, so you wake up in the morning, you get the call, you arrive on scene, and when you get there, you had said, and this might be an old Nevada thing, but everyone skedaddled before I got there. You remember saying something like that? Did you, during that time?
That ain't no Nevada. We said skedaddle. I know that word. I'm very familiar with skedaddle. Ooh. I had a Palm Pilot. Yeah, I was just looking up phones. If you look up on your phone, like look up phones in 1996, cell phones in 1996. And it's like what I was thinking. It's those old, chunky, ginormous ones. Now, 1999, see, that was when all the like pretty pagers and all like the smaller cell phones and more people started having cell phones. So I think I might still be right. 1996, I think the phones were rare. Like there weren't a lot of people running around with phones, and they could barely, like, they had to pay for every single fucking minute of them. Now I think like after that, maybe 98, 99 is when it changed, and then they became like where they would have like anytime minutes and stuff, except for after a certain time, and then then it would be like expensive or whatever. You had to pay for each one after that. Um, yeah. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, Nokia. That's when Nokia was kind of ruling, and they had everything. But yeah, 1996 was still what I was thinking. It was like those funny looking, those big ones. I knew that because in 1996, like even with Tupac and them, when they would be running around, with they had cell phones. It was those big, chunky, fucking things, and they would have them in their car and stuff like that. And it would be those big ass fucking things. They weren't like they still were big. Like even the smaller ones were still big. They just weren't as big as those gigantic, enormous ones. But even some of them were still using those. So I think I'm still right. I like that, and I like that. I like to be right. You know that about me, Big Mitch. You know I like to be correct, honey. Nate, I think I'm still right. I think I'm still right. Let me get some red emojis in the chat for how right Mama is, because it's a good time. Postmortems. Ooh, brick cell phone. I know that's right. You throw that thing through a window, that window's gonna shatter, honey.
Ever observe a white Cadillac
Like,
sitting there waiting for somebody inside to talk to either yourself or any other police officers about what happened at the scene?
No.
And then finally, you had mentioned a little bit about Suge Knight, and you had said that you believed that he was timid or afraid when he showed up with 3 attorneys to talk to you.
Yeah, I think he was rather timid, yes.
Sure. And it would be fair to say, of course, that you don't know why he was timid, right? I mean, he's walking in with 3 attorneys. I mean, is he worried that he's going to get caught doing something wrong, or is he there because he's worried about something else? You don't know, right?
I don't know why he was. It's just I'm sitting there thinking, one, why the victim showing up with 3 attorneys? That was just an odd thing to me.
Right.
No, that wasn't odd. It was odd because of who he was. Y'all gotta remember what the times was like. These motherfucking police was chasing black folks around like they were cockroaches. Okay, that's and they did not like it when one showed up with money. They did not appreciate that. They would be like, "Oh, bitch, this one can defend himself." Shit. Yes, indeed, honey. Yes, indeed. They was
Thank you,
last
sir.
thing
I
they was
have no
gonna do
further
was their
questions.
job, honey.
Any redirect, Mr. Declan?
Like here, he gonna show up in here with attorneys to defend himself. How dare he? Ooh, Nokia 5160. Yeah, cell phones were so cute. We gotta get back to the 2000s. 2000 cell phones were drip. They were dripping, honey. Let me look up some 2000 ones. Cell phone. Just look at me in the rain. What's this? Let's see, 2000.
All right, Detective.
Yup, 2000.
I'm going to jump in here
The
just
2000s was it, honey.
a little bit with you. Hold on one second while I get ready so
There's
that we
the
can share
Razor,
some screens here.
Sidekick.
And of course,
Millennial status symbols. Yes, honey. Ooh. Oh, the BlackBerry was the business phone. Like if you were a business person, you had a BlackBerry, honey. You had a BlackBerry.
where the hell is my
Yes, honey.
There it is. I found it. Here we go. I want to start with an aerial that's been admitted as State's Exhibit number 1. I'm going to put it up big for you here. Can you see that?
Just a minute. Okay, yeah, now I do.
So, your understanding is that Suge and the entourage were coming down this way, westbound on Flamingo towards the 662 Club.
Yeah, Flamingo towards Cobalt, yes.
And after the shooting, what's your understanding as to what Mr. Suge?
Did you say westbound or eastbound?
I'm sorry, they were heading eastbound towards the 662, correct?
Correct.
What's your understanding as to what Suge and the majority of that entourage do after the shooting?
My understanding is once the shooting happened, they made a U-turn, went westbound on Flamingo, southbound on the boulevard, Las Vegas Boulevard, and came to a stop. If that red dot is at Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon, that's where they came to a stop.
And it wasn't just Mr. Knight's vehicle that was stopped at that location. There were a number of other cars that were part of that entourage that remained at the scene for photographing. Is that correct?
My understanding, because obviously Frank Alexander and the other three gentlemen were there, so their car must have been there. If Kevin Woods got talked to, and I think there was somebody else, so I'm guessing their car was there. If there were other cars there, no one said anything about it. So I don't know how many. I remember the car that Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur were in was there in the intersection.
Right. And two of the wheels have been blown out from hitting a curb.
The rims were banged up from going over the median there in the middle of the Flamingo.
So, And then the entire crime scene would have been taped off by initial patrol officers, correct?
Yeah, I remember the street was pretty well taped off from what I recall.
And when they put crime scene tape up, they put crime scene tape up around the entire area they're trying to protect. Whether or not the people that were in those vehicles stayed at that location, there are more than one vehicle that's taped off in this scene. Would you agree with that?
They should be. They should be taping off a wider area than a smaller area. It's easier to come in than to go out.
So this is going to make me kick me back in and out every time, but let's go through this.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're going to tape off an area, you'd rather make it bigger than start smaller, because it's easier to start bigger and close it than to start small and make it wider, because once you've made it small, you got looky-loos, everybody coming in, and it's tough to get people out then.
So now I'm going to share this photograph. That's the rear of Mr. Shakur and Suge Knight's vehicle, or at least appears to be, correct?
This is at the scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I see the tape in the distance. Okay. And then,
that's exhibit number 6.
okay. Is this on the boulevard?
I believe the testimony is that this vehicle.
Wait, were they driving around with no tags, or did they remove the tag? I feel like the tags is missing. Am I the only one that's noticing that the tags ain't there? Maybe they took them off. No, more than likely they were driving around with no tags.
Vehicles, Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon.
Okay, I see the black and white up ahead just because I see the reflect.
Thank you, Harley, for my blessings. Mama, appreciate you. Thank you for my 2 jewels. You know what I'm saying? Mama, appreciate that. Ooh, yes, you do. Hit that like button for Mama, please. Please and thank you. Y'all know that Mama is indeed community funded. You know what I'm saying? So Mama, appreciate you.
From the door.
I'm going to go through exhibit number.
What's that white car?
Well, we're going to go through all of these for you in just a second.
Okay.
Of course, I got to do this the hard way. So now I'm going to show you number 20. Give me a second. I don't know why this thing won't roll up.
They wait till Tupac is dust to finally try to solve his crime, his murder. Ain't that some bullshit? They wait till even there ain't nothing left. He been going so long, ain't nothing left. Okay.
There's obviously a different black BMW that's inside. If you look real close on the right side, the crime scene.
Okay. Okay.
There is 22.
Now he's digging in his ears.
I'm guessing that license plate number is on the report, so.
He said, darn it.
Just click through. That's 23. Now we're looking at 24. Share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen. Share it with the class, sir.
There's a black Lexus within the crime scene tape.
Okay.
Stop sharing.
So all those cars that are in that line to the side is just regular traffic being going by, I take it.
Then within the tape, this is State's exhibit number 24. There's a silverish Mercedes.
Okay. So is Kevin Woods is probably in at least one of these.
And then 26.
Why he look like he about to cry or something? He like, don't cry now, bitch. You was outside. You was running around, just running your mouth, just telling on yourself every Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. Hey, Marilyn, is Joey in here or no? Oh, Joe say he hungry. That's right. You better go get you. You better go get Joey some food. Joey hungry. Joey is hungry. Okay, he got to be fed. You got to feed him. He gonna be cranky. Okay.
26. Also in the tape, there's white. I think if you zoom in really close down here, which I don't know if I can do on here.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this. There you go.
It's probably the license. Oh, it's a
Dodge Avenger.
Dodge Avenger. Okay, and the license plate number. Because I remember on the original crime report, there are license plate numbers on vehicles, and I'd have to look at it to see what they match up to.
And then Mr. Sampt asked you questions about going to the Luxor.
Okay.
You recall those questions?
Yes.
Would it refresh your memory as to exactly what you found out at the Luxor to review that report that you generated?
Uh-huh.
Oh, thank you, Harley. Thank you, Harley. Mama appreciate that. Okay. Mama appreciate that. Mama had gave up all hope, and then here come Harley. Here come Harley. Okay, with the save. Oh, caught it. Yes. You know what? That's what I'm talking about. Let's start the week off on a positive note. You know what I'm saying? You started out on some positive type ish. That's what I say. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Okay, thank you, Harley. I appreciate that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Mama got some in her jar. Wee. Yes, honey.
There we go. Why is it not coming up? Stop. Share this one more time. Let's see if this works. There we go. All right. All right, here we go.
Right, Brian Beard, yeah. Okay.
So the beginning is just sort of a little paragraph that you wrote about what the investigation is about.
That's just a very brief synopsis about what happened the night of the shooting, yes.
Now, you indicated you talked to Brian Beard, who was working security at the Luxor.
Correct.
At about 10 p.m., he saw Mr. Shakur with a large group of people at the valet. Shakur and his group entered numerous vehicles and drove onto Las Vegas Boulevard around 10:30.
Right.
Beard recalls a black two-door Mercedes,
Hey, Joe.
a dark-colored Hummer,
What's
a
going on,
two-tone
Joey?
van, and a black four-door Mercedes or BMW in the entourage.
Yeah, and the Hummer was supposed to be MC Hammer. I remember that.
Okay. And then you also talked to Angel Zabalza.
Oh, wow. MC Hammer was there too, y'all, in a Hummer. MC Hammer was terrible with money back then. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? MC Hammer was just like, he was the original rich man to bankruptcy pipeline guy. Like, he was he was like he went straight to the bankruptcy. Like, he was like, I'm rich, psych. Like, he was just kidding. I'm wealthy. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That was a joke. Okay. Ooh. Riding around in a fucking Hummer. Every 2 miles, you gotta get more gas. Absolutely fucking not. You gotta go to gas station. Every gas station you see is one you gotta go to. Like you got every time you pass a gas station, you gotta pull in. You see a gas station, you better pull in there. You gonna run out of gas? Pull in. You go, what? That was close. That those two gas stations was 2 miles apart. I almost ran out of gas. What? Get in there. Them things were terrible. They were terrible. Too legit. Too legit to quit. Hey, hey. Yeah, he was terrible with money. He gave all his money away. Like he he was paying double for everything. Like he would get a sandwich, it would be $4. He insists on paying $8. He he was gonna buy a house for 200,000. He'd be like, here, just take four. Like it was terrible. It was terrible. Okay, it was a terrible time. Yes, honey, kick your feet up, Joe. Yes, put your feet up. Okay. Did Marilyn make you a sandwich? Did she make you a sandwich? She said you was hungry. She said, "Oh, Joe is hungry. I got to feed him, honey. I got to feed him." That's what she said. That's what she said.
Right.
Zavala. He was working as well. His recollection of the vehicles were there was a white Dodge Caravan, a black BMW Mercedes, and two other black vehicles. Two white vehicles were also behind the group. Zavala said he thought the last car was a Cadillac or Buick with four black males, was what he reported.
Right. Yeah, correct.
Thank you, Judge. I have nothing further.
Okay. Any requests?
Just real quick, Detective Becker, with regards to that last line, the last line is that the last white vehicle was either a Cadillac or a Buick, right? So the Cadillac was a white Cadillac.
Correct. That's the way that's worded, yes.
All right.
Either a white Cadillac or Buick, yes.
All right. No further questions. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing no hands,
Why are you up there
thank you.
grinning?
You are excused. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Keefe,
All
is
right,
that funny to
state,
you?
Any additional witnesses for today?
We approach it.
Come on.
Yeah, what y'all gonna go in the pro? Y'all gonna go talk about how Keefe over there grinning for no fucking reason? You going to prison forever. I don't know why you smiling, sir. Okay? The aura of Tupac is gonna take your soul from you, okay? How you gonna steal Tupac? Oh, look at her. Ugh, thick ass motherfucking tongue piece of shit. I can't. Ugh. Okay. Look at him. What you looking for? See if somebody in there. Your friends? Is your friends there? Oh, that's right. You ain't got none, do you? I know you don't. Cause you ain't shit. That's why. That's for why. Look at that. Ew. What are you doing? It's him and his fucking tongue. See with it. Ugh. Gross. Grosser. Okay. Ugh. They all have to be there just for this man was walking around in the street just confessing like nobody ever confessed to anything, and all of a
All right,
sudden,
we're going to take another 15-minute break while we try to get some Zoom things going. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected to the trial until it is submitted to you.
oh, you
We'll
cooking
see you
dinner?
guys back
What you cooking?
3:30. Please rise for the jury.
Chicken thighs, rice, and stuffing. Ooh, stuffing. I got me some stuffing. I want some stuffing, Joe. Where my stuffing at, Joe? Where is my stuffing at, Joseph? Where is my stuffing at, Joey? I can't believe they waited 30 freaking years to finally do something about this. But if I'm right, and the reason why they're pushing this right now, or they decided that they just had to do this right now, is because
We'll
of
be in recess. Thank you, everyone.
Diddy, then it'll be well worth it. Like it'll be well worth it, especially if Diddy is in there prepping himself for his release, and he is. Diddy is up in there preparing himself for like, okay, yeah, they got me. They had me up in here. And then they kept me up in here, and I asked them to leave and get bail and all of that, and they was like, no. And then I had to go through a trial, and that was a little bit embarrassing. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And all my gray hairs then came in. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But I'm now that it's all done, I know I only got like 2 years left, 2.5 tops, and then I'm gonna be free, and this will all be over. This will all be over. If they pop up if they pop up 3 months before it's time to release him on some trial shit for murder of Tupac, I'm going conspiracy. It's gonna be conspiracy murder, conspiracy, whatever, murder for Tupac. If they show up for that, because I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna find him guilty. I don't give a fuck. Because if you don't want Diddy in jail, something wrong with you, okay? On some real shit, I even fear for his children. Like when I think about cause Diddy, something's wrong with Diddy. Something is majorly wrong with Diddy. So check this out. Like his twins, he's up sitting up in there. They are steady growing up. They steady getting older. They're walking around with these little outfits on, like skinny little things, just like their little mother. You know what I'm saying? But with their daddy's face for sure. But still, you know what I'm saying? They still cute. It's a different type of cute, but it's cute. You know what I'm saying? And they're so statuesque. I fear for them when he gets out. Like, I mean, you might feel the need to be like, oh, those are his kids. He would never, I don't know. Y'all, if y'all heard the way that he used to talk to his sons, he talked to his sons like they were fucking like nothing. Like they were tools and shit. Like when he would get mad, I mean, like literally he would talk to them like they were fucking nothing. Like they were in the fucking way and they needed to do something to save him. Like his children, like his, like the, like his, he used his kids as like guards, shields, like to make him not seem like the monster that he was allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they would play along. They would play along. We still, I'm telling you, every time somebody around Diddy would die, and all of a sudden they're talking about his fucking pneumonia. Bitch, how much pneumonia? Is this man surrounded by pneumonia? Because why is everybody around him dying of pneumonia? Like, I'm just saying, like, like, don't go over there near Diddy. You're going to get that there pneumonia. Okay, then they're going to find you on the floor in the kitchen, having died from pneumonia. Yeah, okay. Okay. How you get pneumonia again? Oh, being put in the headlock? Oh, that's right. I'm just saying. This is what it looked like to me. It's something we've been noticing for a long time. There's a pattern. There's a pattern with this guy. So I'm concerned about his daughters. Like him coming out and then basically trying to use them for something. Like, because they're going to be like of age and shit. Like, ain't no fucking telling what his fucking plans will be. Like, I don't trust it. And they don't know. They don't know. But why would there's no way they're going to want to think that of their father. And because they don't, they're going to be in a position where it's going to happen. And I just don't, like, I don't know. I see Diddy as somebody who would pimp his own mother. And I've heard rumors about that also. Like, that was a thing that was even a rumor out there. It's just a rumor. That was a rumor that was floating around. Literally that. What I just said, that was a thing. So if you would do that to your mother, I mean, you I'm just saying. So if they can lock the Diddy up forever and always, I think it's worth it to have waited 30 years for some justice for Tupac. If we can smear Diddy on the walls at the same time. Yes. Smear the Diddy on the wall. Smear the Diddy on the wall. Okay? Yeah, he's an infection. Diddy is an infection, honey. Okay? He's like a sebaceous cyst. He need to be squeezed And then all this stuff come out. That's what he need. Ooh, well, never mind. That sounded crazy. What did the guys say when they say something like that? They say it's like so it won't sound like gay. What's it? What did they say? Pause. Pause. Yes, Diddy is a case study, hun. Yes, on what happens when you be hideous, have no talent, but have the gift of fucking gab, manipulation, capable of like the most manipulation. Okay, I think his father was a pimp too, wasn't he? I know his father was in like that's how he got killed. He got murdered because he was of the shit he was involved in. And I thought I may be mistaken. Maybe he was just a drug dealer or something. But for some reason in my brain felt like he might have been a pimp also. But it maybe it was just a drug dealer or something. But yeah, he got murdered. Mm-hmm. Can't believe he gave Diddy that jawline and then died. Did I say jawline? I meant jaw area. Cause he ain't got no jawline. He just got an area where the jawline was supposed to be. He got a jaw area. Like you got a jawline, and then you got a jaw area. It's just the section of your face where a jawline would be if you fucking had one, bitch. But you don't, Diddy. You don't. Diddy ain't got no jawline. Diddy ain't got no jawline. Like his fucking chin is melting. Ooh, gross. Disgusting. Disgusting. Y'all, let me get some yellow emojis in the chat. Oh, actually, because I got behind, I could just fast forward to when they get back in there. I forgot about that. I don't have to wait. What was I thinking? I'm over here acting like I gotta wait. I don't gotta wait.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We have everybody. Anything we need to address before we bring the jury back in?
Not from the state.
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring it in.
Staff and jury.
That's when you know your client's a murderer, but you gotta pretend, you know? It's that part for me. It's that part.
Put the party stipulate to the presence of the jury.
Yes, sure.
The like button for mama.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
Yeah, sit down, Keefe.
All right, the state may call their next witness at this time.
Fred Miller.
Hi, Mr. Miller, can you hear me or are you frozen?
I can hear you, Honor.
Okay, great. I'm going to have my clerk swear in.
Melissa.
There seems to be a
Jocelyn's going to have
pause.
some questions.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. If you please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you please state your full name and then spell it for the record.
Fred Miller, Fredmiller.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. DiGiacomo, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sir, how did you used to be employed?
I used to be employed for the Los Angeles Police Department.
How long you were with LAPD?
Almost 30 years.
On March 9th of 1997, what was your assignment? What section were you in?
I've been assigned to Robbery Homicide Division, worked Homicide Special.
Were you one of the two detectives assigned initially the investigation into an individual identified as Christopher Wallace, also known as Biggie Smalls, also known as the notorious B.I.G.?
Yes, honey. B.I.G.
No, I did not receive the responsibility for the case until approximately 60 days later. We received it from the Wilshire Division.
Sir, why the fuck do you have your thumb on the camera? Is there any particular reason why you got your crusty ass fucking thumb on the camera? Is there any reason at all? Are y'all gonna point this out? Like, why are you holding they're like, oh my
And
God.
then we took over the responsibility for the investigation.
Why would a case be transferred from Wilshire to RHD?
I'm sorry?
Why would a case at LAPD be transferred out of the Wilshire division to the robbery homicide division?
Because of the magnitude of the investigation that it looked like it was going to entail, they did not have the manpower that we had at robbery homicide to work a case of this magnitude.
During the course of your investigation, did you learn how Mr. Wallace died?
Yes, sir.
And can you describe that for us?
Yes, he received, I believe, 4 9mm projectiles to his body to cause his demise.
And where was he when he got shot?
He was sitting in the right passenger seat of his limousine that was leaving the museum.
And was that the Peterson Automotive Museum in LA?
Yes, sir, it is.
And that was there a vibe after party after some award show that he was in attendance before he was shot?
That's correct.
And the fire marshals, did they shut down that party and that's why everyone was leaving?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
Did you have information as to a suspect vehicle that you originally received?
That's correct. We received
He got terrible internet.
Newark, Chalet,
I can relate, sir.
4-door. It had very fancy rims on it. It was last seen going north on Fairfax and then eastbound on Wilshire Boulevard.
So I think what you just said was was a newer model Chevy Impala SS that was dark in color. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
And the race of your potential suspect, how was that identified to you?
Yes, it's a male black.
During the course of your investigation, did you receive information that a person by the name of Duane Davis might be a suspect in this homicide?
Yes, we did.
I think he's frozen just as... Okay. And in addition to that, did you learn that Duane Davis was present at the the Peterson Automotive Museum during the party?
Oh, Joseph Thomas, this is the trial for Tupac. This is Tupac's murder. 30 years later. They're just now prosecuting him. I suspect this because they're trying to. This is gonna be Diddy. They're gonna use this to sink Diddy, to sink his ship for good, because he's the one who set it up. But this is happening right now. Today was day one. It's a Keefe did. He's the last one of the people who was in the car of the people who killed Tupac. So that's what this is.
Yes, he was.
Did you also receive information that he potentially had a motive to harm Mr. Smalls because of some sort of monetary dispute?
Objection hour is a leading.
What's your response?
I'm just trying
There
to
was
lay a
some-
foundation through video.
Overruled. I'll allow it given the circumstances. You can answer, Mr. Miller.
He's not frozen.
No, he's frozen. Yeah, he's frozen. He got terrible internet. Y'all should have went over there and helped that man.
I don't think we caught your answer.
He frozen, bro. You think you feel like he blinking
I'm
circles?
sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Did you receive information that he potentially had a motive over money owed to him?
Yes, from several sources, we'd heard that there was a dispute between Mr. Davis and Tupac's organization.
All right.
And ultimately, did you learn
What?
that Mr. Davis lived at a residence at 1524 California?
His organization. What organization?
Yes,
Did you also learn that he had driven or received a citation driving a black Chevy Impala SS?
Objection, Your Honor, lady.
Can I have the parties approach real quick?
Just redo this tomorrow.
yes.
Oh, they approached the bench. Okay. They approached the bench, you guys. They approached the bench. Ooh. Mm, mm, mm. Na 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 na. Do do do. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. See over there listening in. Yeah, they talking about you. They talking about you, Keefe. Hey, Keefe. That's quite the head you got. Bebo body got more head than he got body. Keefe wanted to be a street legend, honey. Now we get to watch him get what he asked for. I know he was chasing clout for so long.
Converse amongst yourself or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, the internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. I apologize for the constant in and out, but we do need to try to fix this. All right, please rise for the jury.
Yay.
Yeah, now it's working perfect.
For the record, the jury has exited the room. I don't know what they want to do.
So, Jared, Jacob's going to call him and see if we can get him closer to his Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, Daryl shot Tupac. Daryl could never get close enough to Tupac, even with Tupac being dead.
It works. And let me
Yeah.
know.
Okay, not even the dust.
All right,
The
we'll
dust of Tupac is too good for the Daryl
Oh.
to even think about. Ooh, guess what I just did, y'all? Guess what I just did? Let me tell y'all something about my mama. Mama don't like to spend money on herself. She just don't like doing it. So the other day, when I was filming for my vloggy vlogs, you know what I'm saying? I was in the store and I found this necklace that I was looking at one of them online. It was like $100 fucking. There never ever is there going to ever be a day where I'm gonna pay $100 for a fucking necklace. I'm not doing it. I can't unless that thing can wash my dishes. It's too fucking much. So I was keeping an eye out online for a version of it that's close enough to it. But things don't look like they do online, in person. So I was like kind of scared to do it. But when I was at the store, I was like, let me look and see, because it seems like the type of necklace that it is that I had my eye on. I was like, I'm seeing a lot of things like it. It's like this multicolored jewel like type thing. Kind of reminds you of the olden days, like kings and queens and shit. It would be all those jewel like necklaces with all the rhinestones. Not rhinestones, but anyway, I saw one there and I was like, oh, like seeing it in person. So I took a picture of it, there's some video of it so I could have it. And then I just found online the exact same necklace. But in the store, it was $50. So it turns out that's still too much for Mama. I ain't not paying $50 for a fucking necklace. I'm just not going to do it. Mama's cheap when it comes to Mama. Mama's cheap with spending money on herself, but till I did. So I'm look online and I see I'm matching it jewel for jewel. It's the same one. And so I was like, oh, I'll put it in that little thingy. And there's a little kit. I want to make some bracelets or whatever. And I was going to get that. So I was like, and then I just remembered I had a $50 Amazon card that was, it was like a gift thing. When I do like a gift thing with a girl at work, like for Christmas, like we just do get each other $50 worth of whatever. Like, it's like a little tradition thing that we do. And all year long, I never told her, I never figured out what I wanted because I didn't want to waste it on just getting random shit. So I was like, I'll tell you. Once I figure out what I want, I'll just tell you. And then so much time passed, I was like, oh, fuck it. Just give me a gift card, an Amazon gift card. So she gave me this like a month ago. This was from Christmas. She just finally asked for it like a month ago. So we almost Christmas time again. But I remembered it. I popped that bitch in there and I got both my things. I got the necklace and that. It was like $61, but I only had to pay $11 and I got both. I got the necklace and I got the bead set that has been in my cart thing forever. I feel so happy now. Cause I put stuff in my Amazon cart and it just stay there forever, honey. I just be putting shit in there just to be putting shit in there. They don't never I feel so happy. It's gonna be there. I know it's gonna turn my neck. It's probably gonna turn my neck. It's probably gonna do it, but it's so cute. It's so cute, and I've been wearing my layered my necklaces like these. I never take it off. This one Sammy got me. It's got my name on it. She spoiled me rotten. And then I got my little heart necklace, and then this one I got from the mall. It says Mama. It's like one of the little kiosk things. But they're all real, so they don't turn my neck. So I take showers in these. I sleep in them. I never take these off. But that one I'm gonna probably have to take off. But I just wanted to have some color to go in with my little where I always have my necklace on. And it's so cute. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what it look like. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you. And let's see. Mm, mm, mm. Save image. Do 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 do. We're gonna do this one. And browse and browse. There it is. Okay. This is the necklace. Oh, hold on. Oh shit. I gotta